Okay, Michael.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining Greatness Academy. We are continuing with our topic, the six tool pack that we'll use to move from nothing, from zero to hero. We started by talking about our past. We went ahead to talk about our present. And last week we talked about our purpose, life purpose. And as a teacher, I discovered, you know what, there's something I need to add. I need to add some more ingredients to this. I need to add some more stuff, some more energy to this. I want to bring it more clarity, more knowledge to it. So I'm going outside the syllabus that we have. I'm going outside the list that we have to bring in something to add to what we are working on. And today, I am going to talk about wealth and money. Wealth and money. I want to use it to help you so that when you are thinking, figuring out your life purpose, I want the information you're going to get today to help you, to drive you to that aha moment. Like I said, until you get to that aha moment, what's that aha moment? Something that will strike to you, say, yes, I can do it. I can do it. When you go to the point of I can do it, the next thing is I will do it. So until you get to that point of aha, something striking you, you will not be able to get it right. So I want to break down some few things because, because of our background and the things that we have learned, we most times think that money is all about everything. And we're looking out for money before we are able to maybe achieve our purpose. You ask somebody, why is it that you have not been able to do this? They said, I don't have money. I don't have somebody to help me. I don't have this. I don't have that. But I want to break it down that, you know what, even before you get to looking out for money, there is something that you have that you can do, you can use. So that is the essence of this particular teaching, all right? It is called money and wealth. And I just want to analyze it. I want to bring the difference between money. I want to differentiate money from wealth and show us that, you know what, everyone has got wealth. We are loaded with wealth, but it is only by the conversion of our wealth that we can make money. Okay, so in this context of what we are going to, finding out our life purpose, we need to understand these key points. And that is why I'm bringing out this, all right? Like I said, most of this you cannot read, you cannot hear it anywhere in the classroom. This is life lessons that we are learning. Okay, and this is my interpretation, my definition, and some additional which I got from the dictionary about wealth, especially wealth, because I'm concentrating on wealth. And now, what is wealth? Wealth is all property that has a monetary value or an exchangeable value. So wealth is different from money. That's what this is trying to tell us. That wealth is all property. And what are this property? I will really want to talk about it a little bit today. So if wealth is all property that has a monetary value or an exchangeable value, so what are these properties? And I want to tell you that these properties, you have got them. You may not have 100%, but at least you have 50% or even 60%. So wealth is not money. Wealth is property. Property doesn't only mean landed property, like having a piece of land or having a house. I want to break it down, all right? So wealth is all property, inclusive of every property minus nothing that has got a monetary, because the key point there, the underlying word there, it has to have monetary, something that you can convert it into so that it can yield you money. So even your life purpose, if it doesn't have any monetary value, really, I don't think it's worth going for. So you need to have monetary value, because that's one of the things that we can survive with. Without money, we cannot survive here on this planet Earth. So also wealth is a latent. Latent simply means existing. Okay, it means present. It means something that is concealed. It means something that is inactive. So it is a latent energy or power or resources that must be converted to meeting needs. So there's some wealth is something that you have inside of you, something that is existing, something that is present, something that has been concealed, something that is inactive. When you were born, or many of us, all of us, when we were born, we didn't know that we have got so many things with us. We didn't know all the gifts that we have, but all those things were in us when we were born. Even the ability to have children and have great-grandchildren was also in us. The ability to become the best in the world was in us. So from the word go, from when we were born, everything was loaded in us. But there's no way you can figure these things out until you begin to search deep. Okay, so wealth is something that is right inside of you, that is concealed, something that is inactive, but it's all about energy. Okay, it's also called resources. It can be called power, but this must be converted into meeting needs. Okay, this is wealth that we're talking about now. Now, what is money? If wealth is something that is not visible, because that's what it means. Wealth is not visible. Wealth is intangible. Okay, now what is money? How do we differentiate wealth from money? All right, money is a tool that expresses the value of wealth. Now, let me give you an example of wealth. I want to go ahead of myself. When you are going for an interview, the interviewer look at your CV and discover you have got vast experience in a particular subject or in a particular career. He said, yes, you have got wealth of experience. You see, now they are not talking about the wealth of money that you have. They're talking about wealth of experience. And somebody is very good in academics, they say, yeah, this guy has got wealth of knowledge. Okay, so wealth is not tangible. Wealth is intangible, but money is tangible. Money is something that expresses, it's a tool that expresses the wealth that you have inside of you. I will talk about another one, like being a comedian. You're somebody who likes to make people laugh. It's a wealth that you have. Now, when you go and make people laugh, what happens? You are paid for it. So wealth simply means money is an expression of what you have. Now, if you are going for maybe any show, they ask you, how much is your pay? You say $10,000 or $50,000. How are we going to find it out? It is by giving money in exchange. So money is a tool that expresses the wealth that we have inside of us. And the wealth that you have, if it doesn't have monetary value, simply means it is not a real wealth. Every wealth has got monetary value. It has to also be exchangeable. Simply means it's either you exchange it for money or you exchange it for something else. So it has to have a value. So money is a tool that expresses the value of wealth. Okay, money is a product of explored wealth that is already converted into tangible goods or services. What does that mean? You have wealth inside of you, you have gift, you have talent inside of you, you have mineral resources around you. By the time you are able to explore, convert it from intangible to tangible, all right? And not only converting it to tangible, but you have to make it for it to be marketable. Either it's a product or it's services. If you're somebody who is creative in cutting of hair, all right? Now, it is something that you have, it's intangible. Now, how do you make it to be tangible? It to begin to practice, to use it to cut somebody's hair. And when it looks good, what happens? There's an exchange that you get in return. This is service. So the same thing also, we have got so much of wealth inside of us. We have got so much of resources, energy inside of us that we need to convert from the intangible to the tangible, all right? So I also went ahead to say that money comes from the discovery of wealth. What is wealth? All property that has got monetary value or exchangeable value. So money comes from the discovery of this wealth. It doesn't stop there, but also exerting the energy of this same wealth to transform it into tangible and marketable goods or services. So remember, wealth is not tangible. Wealth is not visible. Wealth is invisible. It is inactive, it is concealed, but it is existing, it is present with you. But until you do something to it, you have to convert it. So everything is about conversion. The idea that you have in your head, you have to convert it into products, goods, or services. So that idea becomes wealth. But when you convert it into tangible things, you sell it, you'll be able to make money. So what we are talking about is something that not only that will serve others, but also bring returns to us. Okay, so money comes from the discovery of wealth and exerting the same energy to transform it into tangible, marketable goods or services. Money cannot be generated. This is a key here. Everything I'm talking about here is more of, I'm giving us rules, I'm giving us laws, I'm giving us principles. Because if you understand these key points, it's going to help you. Even when you discover your purpose, you know where it can take you to. Because any property or any wealth that does not have exchangeable value or does not have a monetary value has got a question mark. All right. Even your academies, the things you are learning from the school, you hope to use it to do something in the future. You hope to use your certificate to get a job in the future or do something in the future. So it's exchangeable. It also have monetary value. All right. So that is wealth for us. That money cannot be generated outside the common sources of wealth. And what are the common sources of wealth? The common sources of wealth is you. That is human capital. You or human capital. Space, time, or matter. Now I want to break it down. See, there is no you, there's no wealth without you. Okay, it is you, in you, that this wealth is deposited in. It is you that can convert this wealth into something. So human capital is number one. Human capital is number one. You is the source of every other thing. The time is there, but without you, there's no way you can take advantage of the time. So these are the vital sources of wealth. Number one is you, which I call human capital. Human capital. The next one is time. Time is one of the greatest resources that we have on earth. Space simply means like the mountains, like the sea, like the dry land, like the air, like the energy and all that. That's space. And what is matter? Matter means substance, the mineral resources and other resources that you get in the surface earth. We are talking about nature here, more of nature. Okay, you are natural. Time also is natural. Space is natural. Matter also is natural. So you cannot differentiate, you cannot get money outside this. This is where money is. And that is also where your purpose also have been tied in. Things that you can develop between yourself to help people and also make money at the end of the day. Because you cannot do something only to help people and your family starve to death. You don't have food on the table for your family. So that is not proper purpose. That is not life's purpose. So life purpose is something that will help others and at the end of the day, help you as well. Now, and I said the best and fastest way to make money is by seeking for people's needs and wants and providing the required solutions to meeting them. Now, there's difference between needs and want. I know we know about that. Want is something that we want, but our need is something that we need right now. You know, something that we cannot do without. That is our need. You are so thirsty, you need water is a need, but you have you want maybe soft drink. That is a want, not need. Need is water. Soft drink can be want. Okay, you need to go to the supermarket. That is want. You can walk to the supermarket. So, sorry, need. You need to go to the supermarket. But want means you want a car that will take you to the supermarket. All right. So need is, these are the things that you necessarily need. If you don't have them, you cannot survive. But want is something that you can survive without. Okay. So for the fastest way and the best way to make money Remember, we started from wealth. We said wealth is intangible. It is through wealth that we can make money, all right? And we said that the fastest way now to make money is to seek people's needs. That's the fastest way. What are the needs of people and what are their wants? Now, what is need and want here as well? My need is to have a phone to receive a call, but my want is to have let me say, Netflix, okay, to watch movies, to watch soccer ball and all that. That is want. So you don't only concentrate on their need, but also look out for want. People has got money to spend and they need want. So go for need, look out for need, and also look out for want and give it to them. So providing, looking for solutions to problems, okay, meeting those needs, that is where money is. And remember, money comes from wealth that have been explored, that have been used, that have been taken advantage of. Wealth is right inside that has to be used or converted. Then wealth, riches, resources, and values may remain unrecognized by any one of us until we have the hunger to develop it. People are so rich. Now, when I say rich, they are wealthy, but they die broke. Why do they die broke? It's because they have not recognized what they have. Some of you have got so much of wealth. Some of you have got so much of resources inside of you. But if you don't understand it, if nobody teaches you on what to do, you may end up not exploring it or using it. And you begin to complain, either the government, your parents, or the system, while the problem is you. So that is one of the reasons why I'm talking about this, okay? That wealth and riches, resources, values may remain unrecognized by any one of us until you have the hunger to develop it. Inherent simply means inbuilt. Wealth, treasure, or resources are more valuable than money. You see, you may have money today. That you have money today does not determine that you are rich, okay? Rich means you have, okay, physical cash right now. But you know what? Anything can happen tomorrow. Of course, we knew what happened in 2020. Many who have got so much of money, what has happened to them? But if you have wealth, through your wealth, you can generate more money. Look at all the footballers, the movie stars and all that. Some of them, they are retired. But through their talent, they invite them for one program or the other. They become ambassador of this, ambassador of that. They are moving from one place to the other. They are still making money because they have what? Wealth inside of them. Look at all these footballers. Even at their old age, either they are training or they are helping people and making money. So if you are able to use the wealth you have inside of you and not concentrating on the physical cash, really, it doesn't matter what the situation is saying. It doesn't matter if the economy goes down or up. Really, you still have a lot of wealth inside of you. So wealth is right inside. I see like Mike Tyson that had a fight last year. This was a man that had retired, but he had a fight, and that big fight, he made money out of it. Even if it meant him going there just to dance around, just his name alone made him money. So if you are wealthy, it will be difficult for you to die broke. Now, we are all wealthy, but the point is recognizing, understanding how wealthy we are, okay? So now let me just break it down a little bit. I had to break it down into two: natural capital or natural wealth, okay? And what I call human capital or human wealth, which actually has talked about it in the first presentation. But I want to break it down a little bit so that I begin to look beyond the physical. Okay, you know, natural, everything that we enjoy right now came from nature. Even the cars that we are using was as a result of somebody studying how horses, how they run, okay? And somebody said, you know what, let me do something to this. There was a sort of chariot that was added to the horse. And from there, it began to take people from one place to the other. They studied about the horsepower and produced a car, all right? The aeroplane that we use today was as a result of studying of birds. They studied birds, how birds were flying, how they were able to beat the law of gravity, and they developed aeroplane. Okay, what is it? The computer we are using was as a study of the mind, of the brain, how brain, is how the activities of the brain, and they discovered and worked on a computer. All right, many of the things that we are using, they are as a result of what? Of nature. So really, if you want to understand wealth, you can go back to nature. Even the roller that you use to roll the ground or the floor on the street when you are doing road construction, this was something that was learned from beetle, this little beetle. So everything came from nature. So nature is the best way, is the best place that you can have invention, is the best place you can have innovation, is the best place you can bring out creativity, is the best place that you can bring out wealth. You are also natural, okay? So I made mention of forest. In the forest, you have got the trees, the papers that we are using. What is the product? Where did they come from? It was a product of trees and all that. Even the money, the paper money that we use, the note money that we use, is as a result of a finished product of wood. All right, we use wood for so many things. Like myself, I'm buying wood for export. I import wood, which they use to make, those who are doing what do you call it, doors and all those kind of stuff. I also import charcoal, which they use to do barbecue and shisha and all that. All these things, these are just free resources out there in the wild, which somebody just figured out and say, you know what, I can get this, produce it, and serve the needs of others. So right there, many have got this. They have so much of forest in the world, but people are still dying broke because they don't understand that this is wealth. Okay, now I just talked about timber here on how I import timber. Now you talk about marine. What is it inside the water? There's so much. If you're talking about fish, you're talking about other sea creatures. You can even study them. How do you, the marine battle tanks they use both in US and places, how did they discover this marine space craft? It was through the animals. They studied the animals, how they migrate from one place to the other. And now they were able to produce a war machine that can move under the water to be able to move from one place to the other. So it's all about nature. So marine, you can get fish. There are fish all over the world. You can supply fish all over the world. You can get it from just free of charge. What you need is your energy. So I'm just bringing out this for us to think louder and also help others as well. And I want you to get to that aha moment, all right, considering all this, because I want to break it down. How about crude oil? Crude oil, where does it come from? From the ground. Even the forest, on the nature, on the surface, on the ground, the timber on the ground, water under the ground, fish under the ground, everywhere under the ground. We're still talking about what? We're still talking about nature. Crude oil, which UAE is using, my country is using to make money. Where did it come from? From the ground. This is natural. Drinking water, people are looking for drinking water. It's from the ground. How about pearls? From the ground. How about livestock? Natural. How about precious stones? There are people who go, dig this precious stone and sell it for nothing without having understanding. While they have them in quantity in their place. There's a place called Congo in Africa. They are the richest so far, I think, in the entire world, but they are poor. When I say richest in the area of mineral resources, there is nothing they don't have. Even the things they use for mobile phones and all that, they have got everything, but they are the poorest, one of the poorest in the world, just because they lack the knowledge. Okay, so precious stones, they are all in the ground. This is wealth. Natural rocks, some you can use to make marbles, some you use to make gravel, some you use to make building blocks and all that. Even the sand as well. Sand is natural wealth. There's a story that goes this way, that UAE gave a contract to Hyundai, that's Korea company, okay, to take their sand and give them in exchange for something else. Now, Korea had a place whereby they had so much of water, they needed sand. So they took the empty sand from UAE and began to develop cities and using the same sand to make blocks and all that until UAE discovered and said, no, you know what? We can keep our sand to ourselves. Okay, let's go into another agreement. So UAE that is like barren, their land does not have water. It doesn't rain. It's all desert. But this desert is being converted into money. Look at UAE moving from the desert to the space. You can imagine emptiness in the desert, but they understood the power of wealth. That wealth is not money, that wealth is more valuable than money. How about cash crops? In Pakistan, in India, you send mangoes all over the world. People are meant to even make money from there. Now, you must not be a scientist. You could also be an agriculturist. Those who are doing agriculture, they are making the time money. They are making so much of money. And you know what? People will always have food to eat. So food is a necessity. Now, like I said, this is something that for you, not only for you, but for others as well. I just want to break down this so that by the time you are thinking, you are working on your purpose, you can also think in diverse ways. I want you to have different perceptions and not just one direct perception. Okay, of course, natural energy we know about. Natural energy is natural. The solar energy is natural. The dam that we use is natural. For bringing in water together is natural. This is wealth. The food that we eat, it is wealth. Flowers, I import flowers from Africa. What do? Only to get the seed. They have good land. What do? Remember I talked about space. Good land that is comfortable to grow flowers. They plant rose flowers and they distribute rose flowers all over the world, all over the world. There's a place called Kenya in Africa. Every day they fly 1 or 2 aircraft full of what? Of fresh flowers to Europe every day. You see, from the natural, they are making money. Of course, natural gas. Now, I put this here, this agriculture, general agriculture, for those of you who are into science, so that you don't see maybe that you are wasting, you don't look at yourself, maybe you are wasting your time in the science that you are learning and your masters you are doing. No, 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 no. There's so much you can do with science. Without science, there's no discovery. Without science, we cannot go too far. Now, look at this now. They use drone to water the farms. They use drone also to seed, means to plant the seeds. They use drone for a lot of things. So for you who is doing science, who is doing automation, what do? You can sit down and say, you know what? Which areas, not only one area, in many areas, which are the areas that people has need, that you can develop something that will be of help to them. And you develop it. Just put it together. And listen, one thing also I want to let you know is that in case you don't have the money, just keep that aside because we're going to get there. You must not have the money before you are able to become great. Whenever you have the idea, I want you to know that the provision is kept somewhere for you, but you just need to work towards that, okay? And when we get to planning, I will help you out the more. I'll talk to you the more about that. So people are developing drones for so many things. For agriculture, in India, in Africa, we need all this. So we can still develop, you can develop this. Now, you can also bring in team of people, bring in the idea, bring in your friends, team of people and say, you know, what is the concept? This is the problem that I've discovered. How can we solve this problem? People will come with their own ideas and they come up with a solution. Develop it, market it, it becomes wow. And listen, you must not go to do it from the scratch. Why not look out for what people has done, like what this man has done? Okay, he's using drone for watering of the plants. You can develop drone for something else for anyone and for any country. Depends on the problem they have. Look at the movie stars, the movie company. They don't use the cameras on the air like they do before. They take a crane to go up. Now, no, they use drone to shoot most of their movies, even to shoot outside, outside the city to be able to get information and vision. So drone is something, science is something that will never die. Science and food or natural or nature will never die. They will not run out of business. So if you're in science, I just want to give you kudos that you are doing the right thing. If you are able to develop it, really you are going to not only help people, but you can also make a living, serious living, not just making a, no, not only making a living, but making a fortune, okay? Because there's a difference between fortune and a living. Living simply means you are surviving by either your salary or the income that you are getting. But making a fortune simply means you are striving, you are on top. You are part of those who control the world economy. So that is where, that's where actually I want you to be looking at and working towards. Then human capital, remember I said there's no taking advantage of time without human capital. There's no taking advantage of the space without human capital. There's no taking advantage of matter without human capital. So human capital is actually the greatest so far, which is what I call intellectual capital. What you have here is greater than money. What you have here is greater, is valuable than any kind of riches at all, okay? So this is your intellectual capital. Many has made so much of money, many has made so much of fame only by using what they have up here. Every idea, every invention, innovation that you have ever seen came from somewhere here. It came from intellectual capital. Without it, nothing happens. Even the science that we are talking about as well, it is through the intellectual capital that you can discover something or put it into use. Okay, so we talked about time. Time is equal to your life. You cannot separate your time from your life. If you waste your time, you are wasting your life. If you waste your life, you are wasting your time. Every one of us has been created and given time as per his life here on earth. If you are to spend 80 years, you have also been given the time to spend that 80 years here. So what you do between maybe when you are 22 or 18 or when you are 7 until you get to 80 matters. So you have to connect it back to intellectual capital, taking advantage of your time. The knowledge is also human capital. You talk about education, information, solution, analysis, and all that. This is also part of it. It comes from where? It's still part of this, all right? Then also work. Work actually is one of the greatest so far. Apart from time, intellectual capital, work, because work, it is in work that you can convert anything from intangible, from invisible to visible or tangible. Now, without work, nothing happens. So work is one of the greatest so far. It is work that has given us the computer, that has given us the Zoom, that has given us virtually everything that we are enjoying today is as a result of work. Somebody had to work on the idea. If you have an idea, you don't work on it, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't produce anything. So work is one of the greatest. Remember, I'm giving you the keys. And if I break it down, it's going to take me maybe another two months to be able to analyze the whole thing. But I want to give you the key, okay, the keys rather. Then talent is also a human capital. We are all talented. Either you are gray color, you are black color, you are blue color, you are white, you are dusky, whatever. There is no one who is on this surface earth that does not have any talent, any kind of talent. The only problem is that many does not explore. Many does not have understanding of what they have and they die broke. So we are talented, we have so much of talent. Either you don't have hands, you don't have feet, but you have something, you have voice. There are those who doesn't have, I've seen some Indians who can play keyboard and guitar, who cannot see, but they play powerfully well. I've seen them also in Africa and all other places. So it's not about your physical hands, but it's about the wealth inside of you. So we are all loaded with so much. Until you discover it, you may remain where you are for too long. So talent is one of it, but this talent has to be put in use. It has to be explored, right? Then the next one that I have here is law and order. law and order, which goes together with management. You know, you may have everything in the world. Like I said, Congo has got everything in the world, but they are poor. Why? Because of lack of law and order, because of lack of management. But look at UAE, that does not have much. But UAE has got so much. They can move. They have gone to the Mars. They have gone to space. They are going to places. They are bringing in 2021. Actually, it was supposed to be 2020. Here, whereby the entire world will come just to focus on technology. The entire world, a place where the entire world comes to meet. What do they have? Law and order, management only. You can talk about Singapore. Singapore was kicked out of Malaysia, I think in 1965, if I'm not mistaken. But look at the nation now, transformed. Why? Because they managed the little resources they had or they have, and they were able to use law and order. So if you have all the mineral resources, you have all the time, you have the intellectual capital, you have all the knowledge, you can work, you have the talent, but you don't have law and order, unfortunately, things will not go right. So these are the things, these are some of the human capital and also natural capital that we have, that we don't even need to start looking for money, but for us to dig deep and fish out these points, these great values in us, put it in place, then money begins to flow. Remember, we want to go back to where? We want to go back to getting our life's purpose, okay? And I'm giving you this juice, I'm giving you these values, these laws, these principles, these precepts and formulas that can help you to be able to come up with that aha moment, all right? So don't only look out for things that are just common, look out for something great, all right? And you can figure it out. You are loaded. There's no one without the talent. There's no one without brain capital. There's no one without time. There's no one that cannot improve his or her knowledge. Okay, it doesn't matter your level right now. If you want to increase it, you can increase it. All right, simply means you can develop it. There's no one who cannot walk. Either you walk with your mouth, you walk with your eyes, you walk with your hands, or you walk with your physical body. There are so many things to do. Your body also can be used. You can do some gymnastics and all that, work out and show your shape to the world. And the people subscribe and you make money at the end of the day. You have so much. There's nothing, we are all loaded with so much. Then how about management or law and order? Now has to do with discipline. Okay, that is self-discipline. This is quite important. If you have got all this and you don't have self-discipline, I'm sorry, you may die broke. I'm sorry, even with your purpose, the life purpose that is so great, you may end up not achieving anything. Now, let me conclude in this particular, to join it together with life purpose, the assignment for our life purpose. And what I noted here is that whatever idea that you have conceived, right, after the previous class, and this particular one, which I have analyzed, I have broken down money and wealth, telling you that wealth is on the paramount. Wealth is the greatest, even before money. If you have wealth, you have got so much. If you have money, it does not guarantee wealth. It does not guarantee fame. It does not guarantee your life's purpose. But if you have wealth, it guarantees a lot of things. So wealth is number one. And when you generate wealth, when you are able to convert wealth, it becomes money. It can give you money. So whatever idea that you have conceived or you are going to conceive during your exploratory stage, which we did last week, and what we are talking about today, consider it as a seed. What is seed? That little thing, okay, that you sow in the ground, you water it, with the sun, it begins to grow. So look at it as a seed, right, in your heart. And how do you water it? You water it by meditating. It comes just like an idea. Begin to think about it. Begin to meditate about it. Now you begin, the more you are having more ideas, and you are now visualizing how it's going to be, and the areas that it's going to cover, where you are going to use it to serve people, and what is going to get back to you. So these are things that you begin to do. Let that seed be dropped in your heart or in your mind. Think about it, meditate upon it, think on regular basis and also visualize it, and you see how it's going to come to pass. Now, also look at this, and I'm saying a higher positive mindset is needed at this point to nurture these thoughts, because most times the vision that we have becomes so scary that we may be doubtful if we can or we have the ability to bring it to pass. There are some vision that you receive, you'll be wondering, can I really bring it to pass? The answer to this, if you have a vision that it's only what you can do while you're still alive, it is no vision. If you have a life purpose that has to do with the things that you can handle while you are here, it is not life purpose. Life purpose is something that will extend even while you are gone. It is something that should scare you and say, no, I don't think I can do this, but I want to assure you that you can do it. So your life purpose has to be something that will scare you. Think big. Something that when you die, another 500 years, people are still going for it. It's being helpful to people. It's also going to help your generations, even great-grandchildren, fifth and sixth generation, even to the third generation, if nothing happens. And also remember this quote from Napoleon Hill. This is one of my favorites so far. It said, whatever the mind conceives, or whatever the mind can conceive, the mind believes it, the same mind can achieve it. So you conceive, number one, you conceive an idea, you believe that you can do it, then you go ahead to achieve it. So these three goes together. But the first thing is to conceive. The second one is to believe yourself, believe in the abilities that you have, and also go for it. You'll be able to achieve it. There's nothing you cannot achieve. Absolutely nothing. Okay? Then lastly, call to action. In order to maximize the full benefit of navigating through the paths to discover and attain purpose or goals, it is advisable to have a quiet time, alone, solitude time, a time away from distraction, and adapt sincere quest for discovery. Adapt sincere quest. You know what? I really want to understand. I really want to know. Then give yourself some time. Go out from the noise and the bustling of the city or of your friends. Take your time out and begin to think. You see, the generation these days doesn't want to think. Somebody told me, actually, my coach told me, you know what, that this generation is a generation that wants it fixed. But really, I don't want to, I really don't want to accept that completely. There are those who want to really be better, who can think and bring out the best in them. So this is the kind of students I'm looking out for. And I believe that you are that kind of student, okay? So I want you to do something, move out, take your time, whether one day, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever, either in the midnight when you are just alone, but you are not sleepy, and begin to think. Check if there's something that has, dropped into your mind, okay? You have that aha moment. It's a seed. Begin to meditate upon it and also visualize it. And at the end of the day, you come out with an answer with life's purpose. So, and when you come after doing your assignment, I will now be able to help you and tell you, you know what, you can focus your attention on this area. This area is the area that you can do quite very well, but you have to take your time to do all this. So I think I have done a good job, and I have to end for today until we meet again. Thank you.